Almost 15% of contracts fell out and were canceled in the month of June, the highest level for this time of year on record. And that means, as an agent, you got to be thinking about who are your top prospects, and I'm going to give you a formula to determine if they're actually a real top prospect or not. If you get some value out of this or you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and if you want to schedule a call with our team about how we can help you think like this in your business, you can do that with the link in the comments. 15%, almost, 14.9 to be exact, of contracts fell through in the month of June, according to Redfin. It was the highest number ever recorded for a percentage in the month of June. And that tells me there's two things happening. One is agents may not have the skill level to negotiate through tough and turbulent transactions. We're not going to talk about that today. Instead, they may not be qualifying their clients and they may not be working with the right people. And that comes down to evaluating if someone's really a top prospect or not. I'm a big believer in the top prospect list. I have one I carry around with me where it's got all my top prospects of people I'm trying to convert into agency contracts or into sales, right? And if you don't have that list or you don't know how to codify that list, then you're in trouble because you may be working with people that are time wasters. So there's 6 things is what we found. We coaches at our team here that tell people and tell you as an agent exactly what a top prospect is. The first is going to be, are they communicating with you? Is there two-way communication? Because it can't be a top prospect if they're not returning your calls, responding to your texts, or responding to your emails. So two-way communication is going to be critical. When communication drops off, that's not a good sign. So are they getting back to you? Is there regular two-way communication? That's going to be number 1. Number 2 is, have you had a financial conversation with them? Meaning, do you know how much money they have in the bank to buy a home? Do you know what they're thinking about the value of their property, how much they owe on the home? Finances are important. And if people aren't sharing their finances with you, how can you really help them? A lot of agents get worried about this conversation. To me, it's one of the most important ones to have so you know what you're dealing with. And I'm not saying have this on the first call, to be very clear. That's a horrible way to go about this, but stay in touch with them. Ask these questions. Do you know the financial parameters that people are looking to stay within and their financial wherewithal? And there's a subcategory here, so we call this number 3, and this is going to be for sellers and for buyers. Have they taken the time to get pre-approved? Because people that talk to a lender, give all their financial information over, they get the documents together. They've taken a lot of steps there that shows they're serious. If they're not willing to do that, then they're not willing to take a step that you're going to need them to take in order to get them under contract and help them buy a home. So have they spoken to somebody about financing and gotten their financial ducks in a row? So one is sharing the data with you, and a separate one is talking to a lender who's actually going to lend them the money. So that's the first 3. And they don't all happen at once, to be very clear. This is going to be something that evolves in the client relationship. Number 4, and to me is probably the most important, they have a clear motivation. You know exactly why they're moving. You understand their plans. It's probably one of the D's: death, divorce, diapers, diamonds, diplomas, downsize, de-relocation. You know the list. They've got a clear motivation that has been expressed, and you are clear how motivated they are to make a move. If they aren't motivated, they may not transact. Motivation matters in all kinds of markets, and especially in a market like we're in now that is likely going to have less transactions than last year, which was the lowest level since 1995. So if you don't know their motivation, you can't really call them a top prospect or count on them to be part of your pipeline over the next 90 days. So motivation is going to matter. You've got to ask better questions there. That's number 4. Number 5, we're going to call this, and it's a little of both, is that are they listening to you and are they taking your advice, right? We've all had the clients that don't want to listen. They don't want to take the advice of the professional. Well, if they listen to you and they take your advice and they're coachable and they take the information you're giving them and make decisions based on that, well, then they're probably intent on transacting and they want to just get the result that they're looking for. If they're not listening to you, they're being difficult, they're not taking the suggestions that you make, and it doesn't happen on the first or second or third call. Sometimes it's a repetitive call. Well, then are they really a top prospect? Are they really going to transact? And the last one here, and this is going to be specifically for buyers, so you could look at 5 or 6 depending on your list. Are you regularly showing them homes? Are you regularly going out showing them property? Because if they're not looking at homes regularly, then Are they really taking their search seriously? Sellers, it's a little different. Maybe they're not allowing showings, right? That you could put that in that same bucket. When people aren't being cooperative, they've got to be going out and looking at homes on a regular basis. So you take these 6 things, and I would encourage everyone to go through their top prospect list and say, is this person doing this or not doing this? And go through all 6 of these here. And if you get like 3 of 4, 4 of 4, that's a good start. You might need to work a little harder, ask some better questions. But if they're not doing any of this stuff, then it may not be someone you can count on to transact in the next 30, 60, 90 days. I'd be looking at 90. That's a realistic time frame, or even this year.